I've got the golden ticket. I don't know all the lyrics. You don't have the golden ticket anymore, sucker. Boom, sucker! What's up, everybody? Awall here from TGN. We are YouTube, and you're tuning in to my Old Republic weekly news show where I bring you everything you need to know from the previous week in about 15 minutes. A big piece of news this week is that we are moving all of our Star Wars The Old Republic content over to a channel. We have outgrown TGN Central, and we want to move over to a channel to properly serve our viewers. So we're moving over to youtube.com/TGNSWTOR. Link at the top of the video description below. Just go ahead and subscribe to this channel, and you'll catch all of our Old Republic content. No worries, our shows aren't going anywhere on TGN Central. We are going to be posting our best content there only. However, all of our content will be posted to this channel that I'm telling you about, so go check that out, guys. And by the way, I'm doing this live all the time on my live stream. Come check me out here, twitch.tv/AwallTGN. Let's go ahead and get into the top news stories of the week. Boom, and here we are on AskAJedi.com and Outpost for citizens of the Old Republic. Let's check out the top news story for the week. The Rise of the Rakghouls patch 1.1 is the game update here, and it's going to be dropped January 17th, essentially when I release this video. So go ahead and patch up, guys, because it's going to be awesome. And this new Flashpoint that's going to be in place, Kaon under Siege, looks like it's going to be completely awesome. As Gabe Amatangelo is saying that this is his new personal favorite Flashpoint. The setting is awesome. It's dark with huge shadows. Everybody has flashlights to see their way through it, sort of Resident Evil style. And the Rakghouls have different kinds of mechanics involved. Very cool. Also on the patch, Amatangelo is also saying that the timers in Ilum are not exactly going to be what they should, but in the 11th hours they just weren't working, so they're going to go ahead and try to figure out how to fix that problem moving forward. But he wants to assure us that lots of Ilum issues are going to be fixed in this patch. So let's go ahead and take a look at this Kaon under Siege, this brand new Flashpoint trailer.
We intercepted a series of classified transmissions. The Kaon hegemony's in trouble. We're looking at the planet-wide annihilation of all civilized life.
Spread out. Check for survivors.
Major, we got a live one.
Catastrophic. Billions will be infected.
With the brand new Flashpoint trailer, which I thought was awesome. What is your favorite Flashpoint is the blue milk and cereal question for this week. I already took this poll, so the results are already exposed. My answer was Black Talon. That was the one I put down. And I was wondering, okay, how come so many people voted for Black Talon? Probably because more people have experienced that one than the others. Another interesting poll result here was at 11% Kaon under Siege. People are already predicting that that one will be their favorite. Malga Space Station coming in at 11%, and I'm going to speculate here that a lot of the higher end stuff is down here at the bottom, and most people have not experienced that yet, and that's why those answers are not as popular. Come by this poll, guys, and go ahead and vote on what you think is the best Flashpoint, your favorite Flashpoint so far, and link in the video description below. I've got the golden ticket. I don't know all the lyrics. You don't have the golden ticket anymore, sucker. Boom. BioChem and Cybertech have been nerfed, so players no longer have the golden ticket in Star Wars The Old Republic. Why did they do this? Well, as you guys know, and I know myself because people have been making these items for me, and they have been awesome. However, BioChem-only med packs have been pretty OP. They've been healing a ridiculous amount of health. half of your health almost in some cases on only a 90-second cooldown, which is insanity. So they went ahead and nerfed that because it was just far too powerful. Also, Cybertech grenades were a major issue, and these Cybertech grenades were allowing players to do more damage than they intended in the burst type scenario. So people were able to throw out their grenade and then boom, 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 use their actual moves in conjunction with their grenade, dealing way too much damage and reducing movement speed in some cases. And some Cybertech grenades were just, they had too much utility associated with them as well. So basically in the statement here from George Zoeller, yep, we're nerfing these, and no, we do not want any particular crew skills or any particular items that are being crafted to become the go-to skills just because they're so powerful. That means that their system was broken and they are fixing it. So sorry kids that had the golden ticket, you don't get to see Willy Wonka this year. Whenever we have questions, Reid is there with the answers. He's updating the community on high resolution textures in a ridiculously lengthy post. I'm gonna go ahead and sum it up for you. You can read the whole thing, link in the video description below if you would like, but essentially the issue being brought forward: your character looks way better in cutscenes than they do in the actual game. You notice that there's like that ultra high res look on your character when they're talking to each other, and it looks really, really nice. I love it. I wish that my machine could run that for the entire game all the time because I have an insanely powerful machine. However, what Reid is explaining in this post is that in testing, essentially, when they were trying to put that ultra high resolution in there in actual regular gameplay, it just wasn't working properly. It was just too much strain on most systems, even high-end systems in this game. So in the game, as you know right now in the preferences menu, there's 3 different options: low, medium, and high, and there was actually never meant to be a medium choice. So that's being changed in the public test server version of 1.1. There was actually only low and high in place now, and that's the way it's going to be moving forward. You can choose low or you can choose high. And what he's explaining here, the reasoning behind not doing ultra high texture options for everyone in this game, is that it's just putting too much stress on people's computers when they get into scenarios like Warzones, where there's tons and tons of characters moving around all the time controlled by other players, and also when you get into scenarios like your Imperial fleet or any major social points or cantinas. They basically overloads your computer with draw cells, and basically most computers can't handle all of those draw cells based on the engine that they have in place. So when it comes to cinematic scenes, characters are rendered using a higher texturing because obviously there's only a couple characters around, and the developers don't really have to worry about hundreds of people all of a sudden showing up in an open world PvP situation and that type of thing, and so that's not really an issue. Yes, they know that players want to have amazing textures moving forward, but right now their main concentration is ensuring that players have good performance while doing regular gameplay. And yes, it is a goal of theirs to have the ultra high in place in the future. He did not give a date, and he did not make any promises, so guys, I wouldn't count on this anytime soon. James Ohlen and Gabe Amatangelo dropped some deets on us about legacy guilds and Warzones. Some big stuff here from GameSpot, and I'm going to show you a video here in a moment. They also talk about Rise of the Rakghouls, but what James Ohlen's talking about is the legacy system. As you know, the legacy system is not exactly fleshed out the way that it should be at this point. Essentially, you can just assign a name to yourself, but there's no real benefits or fleshed out benefits available for you. He just wants everybody to know the purpose of the legacy system is so that you want to create additional alts and play the game through different story paths. So they will be developing that as we move forward. Also, James Ohlen was talking about guild banks, PvP rankings, and that type of thing. But there was this interesting point that he was making about well, something he can't go into too much detail about, but there is now an events team for Star Wars The Old Republic that will be providing content and events throughout the galaxy to make the Old Republic galaxy a living, breathing galaxy where things are changing. I take this to mean, okay, they're going to probably be kicking off holiday events, that type of thing, special events on regularly on planets to drive traffic to certain areas, maybe even special events in open PvP areas to drive traffic to certain PvP areas. We'll keep you abreast of that as soon as more details are released. Lead in-game designer and PvP designer Gabe Amatangelo is also telling us about this. You'll be able to create specific relationships between all of your characters. turning the jumbled pile of characters on your login screen into an organized family tree of fathers, daughters, wives, and brothers. Seriously. Does this mean this will affect your story in any way or will be listed any differently in-game? I don't know the details on that, but as soon as they become available, I'll let you know. And here is the video from GameSpot where the developers are releasing new information. Come check out this highlight and you can watch the entire thing. Link in the video description below.
And then there's the legacy system. When fully implemented, you'll be able to create new characters and experience the other stories, and designate relationships between these characters. And members of the same legacy tree will unlock and share skills and perks among all of them. Also, at some point, you can expect to see galactic events that add an element of unpredictability. Such events are meant to make the setting feel like a living, breathing galaxy. And in the end, that's what BioWare wants players to know, that Star Wars: The Old Republic will expand and grow. They say this is just the beginning. Time will be the final judge, but at this stage, it seems they're off to a good start.
The Rakghoul outbreak will be catastrophic. Billions will be infected.
How many gray or neutral players are out there and you feel like you're getting screwed over by Star Wars: The Old Republic? No worries. Gray alignment morality gear will be enhanced in the future, according to James Ohlen. He is the game director, and most people are going extreme light or extreme dark, and nobody really cares to go extreme neutral, if you know what I mean. So what they're promising here, it's really very, very short. Light side and dark side and gray items are all going to get more powerful moving forward. There you go. That's the promise. So let's see what the gray items turn out to be. I'm very curious about that. The chase for the pink lightsaber. The epic pink-colored lightsaber that will set you apart from all of your guildies and allies. That's right. This is a complete guide to getting the Magenta crystal. And it is complicated. Seriously, there are so many steps involved, it blew my mind, and this is something that we discussed on my live stream. Every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do a show called SWTOR. Videos right here below my live stream. Basically, we were talking about, what do you think about missions that are ridiculously long, ridiculously complicated, but you get a cool reward in the end? This is sort of an old school RPG type of thing, and this is sort of classic BioWare trickery here, and I like it quite a bit personally. This Magenta crystal requires you, and I'm going to show you the video in just a moment, requires you to go through so many steps, it's unbelievable. However, like basically you start off accessing a water panel, and then you're in a desert, and there's a surprising amount of moisture available, and you take that water over to another location, and then you go ahead, and there's this force ghost involved. You're traveling from planet to planet, and you need water to make magenta crystals grow, and it just goes on and on and on with the complications in this mission. But in the end, you get a pink crystal, so maybe you can have a pink lightsaber or a blaster. I don't know. I think this is pretty interesting, and I think it's cool that BioWare is basically putting in the time to put in these complicated missions and giving us some dynamic content where it's not just one-off tasks here and there. Check out the video and link in the video description below if you want to watch the whole thing. Ohlen talks performance. To Eurogamer, how many of you have not had the performance that you desire out of Star Wars The Old Republic? Well, this is especially happening for low-end systems, evidently. But James Ohlen is saying that for the most part, 95% of people, he can't give us an exact percentage, but pretty much everybody that's come to him has said that they are not having significant performance concerns. He does understand that lower end machines are having problems in some areas. I'm going to speculate that those areas are places like the Imperial Fleet or Warzones, where there's a high amount of players in the area, or maybe like Ilum open world PvP. It doesn't matter how baller your system is in those areas, you're gonna lag up if there's a ton of people around. Case in point, my system could run this game 3 times over. However, those areas lag up, and I think that's a server issue. But for the most part, they're concentrating on making sure that players that have low-end machines will be able to properly play this game. Post in the comments below, guys. Are you having performance issues with Star Wars The Old Republic? Personally, it's running pretty well. For the most part, my issues have just been server-related. Patch notes 1.0.2D. Okay, so there's some Flashpoint fixes and some modding exploits that have been eliminated here. A very, very short patch, but some good stuff that they're knocking out. For instance, items. There was a exploit that allowed the removal of armoring item modifications not intended to be available for removal on artifacts. They went ahead and fixed that. As far as Flashpoints is concerned, there was an issue that prevented players from resetting their active Flashpoint. They fixed that. And in operations, you can no longer cause SOA and ancient pylons to respawn, even if the player is currently locked out of these encounters using this reset all active operations thing. So basically, quick bug fixes. 1.0.2D is not earth-shattering, but it's good stuff. The leveling curve. Yes, the mighty leveling curve. How have you guys been doing with your leveling curve with this blue milk and cereal? Calling out the community, asking whether you feel like you've been a little too high level or you feel like you've been a little too low level with the content path that you've been taking. Obviously, there's multiple paths that you can take in Star Wars The Old Republic. You can go all PvE stuff. You can do just class quests and just knock out flashpoints over and over again. You can do all PvP, so you can go a number of different routes. So I'd be curious to know your specific feedback on this issue. Personally, I've been doing like 80% PvP and then filling in the rest with my class quests along the way, and it's been working out fairly well. I've been over-leveling my PvE content that way. I've been playing a little bit too much PvP. So, you know, a lot of this has to do with self-management, guys. No matter what you do in the game, it shouldn't always balance out. I mean, you're gonna get ahead on your PvE content, right, if you're doing nothing but PvP. So anyway, let's take a look at the survey, and I'd be curious to know what you guys think. I already voted here, but I voted that I seem to be right about where I need to be for most of my content. The fact that I over-leveled some stuff is my own fault for doing tons and tons of PvP by myself. However, the majority of the community here saying that they seem to be a higher level than most of the content that they're engaging in this game. That really surprised me. 35% saying that it seems about right for them, and 13% saying they seem to be a lower level than most content in Star Wars The Old Republic. The higher level thing, I'm really curious to know about this, and I think that this has to do, I'm gonna speculate, this has to do with, these are players that are doing nothing but PvE content, and they knock out each planet in its entirety before they leave. And when you do so, yeah, you are gonna outlevel the next planet coming along because you did everything. And they didn't design this game to where you should do everything first before moving to the next planet. So they probably designed it to where you could do most things on a particular planet, then you move to the next planet, and you are the appropriate level. Post in the comments below, guys. I'm really curious to know what you think. Link in the video description below, of course, if you'd like to go ahead and vote. Thank you so much for watching this news show, guys. I really appreciate it. If you want to show your support, just click like and favorite on this video. Hooks me up a ton. And by the way, friendly reminder, we're moving all of our Star Wars The Old Republic content over to the TGN SWTOR channel. So link at the top of the video description below. Just go ahead and subscribe to this channel. All of our content will be there. All our directors are moving over. It's gonna be epic. No worries, the show on TGN Central will still be there. It will just be a highlight show, essentially, where we post only our best content. So you will miss some stuff. However, you will get our best content on TGN Central. Cool? Also, I'm doing this live all the time, baby, on Twitch TV. Check me out Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll go ahead and have a good time together. It is a community live stream, so I bring in people from the community on here. We play games together, we do PvP together. It's pretty freaking fun. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll catch you next week with the weekly news, and I will see you in the Star Wars universe.